Today we have Pete and Cass, but spiritually we have Kosma too. So I wanted to make sure that Cosmo was here with us one way or the other. So that's why I did it that way. Plus, he's much
Absolutely.
better at doing the intro than I am. So let's get this out of here. I think um, Cosma, Cass and I were discussing what we wanted to talk about today, and I think what's on the top of our minds is the new releases. And
Yeah.
to that, I would like to start with Captain Barrel Demolisher Dunix. And the reason for that is because, well, Cass plays Fane, and all the rest of the new releases are going to be Fane. So Cass will have.
Actually, I put the Pharaoh in there before Thane,
Oh,
the
okay.
stuff that was talked about today on stream.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay.
Hmm.
So we're going to have quite a bit to talk about, I guess, with the
Oh yeah.
newer releases. But this guy is very interesting. I think this Captain Barrel Demolisher. Um,
Hmm.
here we go.
Barrel Demolisher Dunix.
Yes. Speaking of, speaking of Cosmo, we got him here in the chat already as well. I don't know if you were here at the very beginning, Cosmo, but we ran your intro, so there we go. Um, But getting back to Captain Barrel Demolisher Dunix, he is takeable in uh, Gravediggers, Kithguard, Rule Guard, and Wintercore. And he's got a couple of very interesting abilities. Girded is a good ability. Um, but not the most interesting ability. We're going to talk about probably the most interesting ability first, which is this Light the Fuse. Once per game, at any time during this model's activation, choose a piece of terrain within 3 inches of this model. At the start of the opponent's next maintenance phase, remove the terrain piece from the table. Okay.
Okay. Now let's continue. Fortify that position is a star action that he can do. He chooses a piece of area terrain within 5 inches of this model. It gains one of the following benefits for 1 round. Stakes means that models completely within the chosen terrain get +1 defense to against melee attacks. Sandbags gives models completely within the chosen terrain cover, and runic wards gives models completely within chosen terrain magic resistance. He has uh he's speed 5, mat 6, rad 6, defense 12, armor 17, pathfinder. He's got the mixed arms rule. He's got tough. He's got 8 boxes. He's got a grenade launcher, range 10, AoE 2, power 13 over 7, and he's got a shield that's a PAL 12 that makes him armor 19. And he's 3 points. All right. So, do you want to start with Light the Fuse or Fortify the Position? Because I think there's a lot to talk about in both of these things.
There is a lot to talk about within both of these things. I would like to get Light the Fuse over with because I want to deal with getting rid of the war table
Okay,
sooner rather than later.
let's
So
do
this
it.
is just a random war table. I set it up with trench warfare, such that the first player is at the bottom of the screen with the red marker objectives, and the second player is at the top of the screen, just for reference. And the reason I chose trench warfare is if you go to events, it's you're going to see trench warfare. It's almost always one of the scenarios that you'll play in your 3 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
I find, and the reason why this is relevant is because with Dabaro's Light the Fuse ability, once per game, anytime during this model's activation, choose a piece of terrain within 3 inches of the model. Notice it does not say non-scenario terrain. So in this case, if you were player 2 and you moved the flag to this hill, right? And
Mm-hmm.
probably if you're player 1, you're going to leave your flag on the wall here, right? It's a good place
Mm-hmm.
for a flag,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if you're player 2 and you move the flag to the hill, and now you use Dabaro to destroy this hill, what happens to the flag? That is kind of the question that we're interested in discussing here. and how beneficial or not beneficial is doing this potentially, um, especially if your opponent's not seen it. Um,
Well, like anything, if your opponent's not seen it, then of course that's very beneficial. But yeah, let's go ahead and go to the sided material. The sided material being if a scenario terrain piece is destroyed, expires, or is removed from the table before removing the terrain piece, the player that caused its removal places the flag anywhere touching its edge. After placing the flag, remove the terrain from the table. The flag then becomes an obstruction scenario terrain piece.
right. So if you destroy this hill with Dabaro, you then get to further adjust where this flag is, and maybe you just want it even closer in. I could see where that would benefit specifically more Kithgard, because now if you look at the way the elements are aligned, they're much closer together. It's more conceivable that you can have your battle group if you're Kithgard in this whole area that is your side of the
Mhm.
terrain elements, right? It makes defending your stuff a lot easier. And I believe trench warfare is not the one, isn't? I don't remember. I don't think you can score your own flag,
You
right?
can't score friendly. I'm almost positive.
Right. Yeah. So you're making it, you if you want, then you can actually just put it all the way on the back edge. Like they have to be on the back table edge, even if they come in from ambush, they have to come even further across the table.
Hmm.
Um, it just makes it that much harder. And it's not like you're sacrificing to borrow to do this. You can still use his other abilities like the fuse, etc., to give your models defensive bonuses, or be in cover or magic resist, etc., to deal
Hmm.
with other problems. But I don't know how good this is going to actually end up being, but it definitely could be very good. Um, the other thing is, obviously, this seems a lot less likely to be able to do, which is where if your opponent chooses a terrain piece, you would then want to somehow snap it more forwards. Um, but it would require, he's speed 5, so it would really require him to run quite a lot just to do that.
Hmm.
And probably doing something like removing this removing like a burning cloud or something in your own area might be more beneficial than that. Or, you know, if you don't have a lot of Pathfinder, maybe removing one of these rubbles, etc.,
Hmm.
would be quite beneficial. I think this guy is going to be very useful for the factions that can take him. Um,
Yeah, I think he's gonna be great in factions that can take him. Given that plus his other abilities, but that alone in terms of shaping your battlefield. Um, on the reverse side, how much do you see pressure point? Because I know it would affect pressure point greatly if you were first player. I say that because pressure point is controlled by the second player. So sometimes those flags are not in a good place for you as player one. So pressure point, you get to pop the terrain and um, move the flag to a better position for yourself.
well, so to be quite honest with you, I didn't choose pressure point for the reason that I rarely see pressure point in events.
Yeah.
I think I've only seen it, and I don't get out to as many events as I certainly would like to,
Hmm.
but I just don't see it that often. Like I said, I've seen it once. So I tried to pick trench warfare because I think I see that almost every event
Hmm.
as one of the scenario choices. In a longer round event, I think pressure pouring is a lot more likely, but in a lot of the 3 round events, which I think is what most people are going to be seeing in their local community, or for
Hmm.
weekend events, that's not like a convention. level event or something like that. That they're not going to see that. Now, for the pressure point, I'm not good at determining these things, which is why I use the separate app here to help. Okay, so we have player one. So this would go away. Um, this would go away. This would go away. This would go away. And this would go away.
Mhm.
So we'd have it lined up like this, right? If you're player
Yep.
one,
Yeah,
um,
but player 2 controls all the flags.
right, player two controls all the flags. But like, there's only one option for this one, right?
Mhm.
There's two options for this one.
Yeah, but a
Um,
wall isn't as effective as, say, the hill. And if they're
right.
counter picking, then it might be something like
They're
the wall
probably
escape.
going to, yeah, they're probably going to move their flags closest to them to make it harder for you, to force you to both spread out and have to commit. And then they're probably going to move
Mhm.
their own stuff. So yeah, the wall in this particular case, neither of these are
Mhm.
particularly beneficial. But say if this wall was a hill or one of these rubbles, then being able
Mhm.
to move it back and closer in could be a very beneficial for you as well. So um, I think that's just going to be a matter of seeing how that goes. But yeah, this definitely has the most flags and the most opportunity to air quotes abuse the ability. Um, and you're not always going to see tables with this much terrain. War table is great for having the variety of terrain, but it's not always
Mhm.
possible in live events.
Oh, yeah. And that is what some of this comes down to, because he's a very terrain reliant guy. And that it in the how powerful light diffuse is gonna be a table to table thing. Like, it's good
Right.
for certain scenarios, right? It's not good for all scenarios. It's helpful for sure. Um, but yeah.
My question about this is, let's pretend
Hmm.
that, and I'm not sure exactly when this would be useful. Let's pretend that there are no. Whoops. I'm not really great with war table. That there are no terrain options. You could theoretically destroy the obstruction that the flag makes. What happens when that happens?
You place the flag. Okay, so there's this very topic in the rules forums right now. And what happens is you place the flag base to base with the flag, and that's it.
Okay, so you get like a 1 inch move of the terrain, is
Uh-huh.
what you're saying. Okay,
That's what it looks like right now. They're checking on it, but right now that's what the rules seem to indicate, because you cannot permanently destroy the flag.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, these are all very interesting things. Sometimes new models do these weird things. Um, do you want me to leave this war table up for talking about the his next set of abilities, the fortify position?
Fortified position. I don't think we can, because actually looking at the terrain pieces and looking at what would be useful. Yeah.
Okay. So to recap the fortify position, um, choose a piece of terrain area within 5 inches of this model, so a slightly larger range. Gains one of the
Mhm.
following benefits for 1 round, and keep in mind too, like he's going to walk 5, and then so it's effectively a 10 inch air quotes
Mhm.
threat, right? For doing this, right?
For
Models
fortifying. Yeah.
completely within the chosen terrain gain +1 defense against melee attack rolls, which is kind of neat. There's not a lot of things that give melee defense. The only thing I can think of is Tree Walker, right? Um, which
And
gives
this
a
stacks with Tree Walker.
and this stacks with Tree Walker, but it's the only thing I can think of that gives melee defense, and it's only in a forest specifically, right?
Yeah. The only other melee defense I know about is Duelist, which just gives melee defense.
Gotcha.
It's plus
Um,
2 defense in melee.
right. So if you've already got something that gives set defense, or if you want to use a card for set defense, right? If
Hmm.
you're doing like a flag terrain, right? scenario piece once again, right? Then you can
Hmm.
do set defense if your unit or whatever is in or your model's in there, right? In the flag terrain, and then you can also give it another +1 defense, right, from a model that would be completely in to make it
Yep.
+1 defense overall, but effectively +3 defense versus charges, right?
Yep.
But ignoring even the set defense bonus, like if you've got some troopers or models that are defense 13, going from 13 to 14 tends to be a very big
Yeah, it
difference
does.
in just their survivability, right? Especially if you can use a card to say maybe not, maybe you don't decide to dig them in, maybe, or maybe you don't decide to give them set defense, maybe you decide to give them dig in, right? And now your 13 defense models become 17 versus shooting, or
Hmm.
18 with the stakes, right?
Well, shooting is only melee attacks.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Stakes is only a melee attacks. My bad.
Sandbags cover.
Yes.
Getting cover, like being able to run forward, have cover on a thing. Yeah, I it,
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, there's plenty.
mhm.
There's quite a few factions that can make cloud walls, or clouds are considered terrain, whether or not they're made, right?
Is it actually considered terrain? Is the question, because I sent you that bit about what is a terrain feature.
Hmm. This one,
Hmm. Yeah,
any
piece
natural
of
or man-made object.
area terrain. Piece of area terrain is a very specific thing. Um, so let me grab.
Yeah, it says choose a piece of area terrain. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Any natural or man-made object on the battlefield is terrain feature, sometimes referred to as piece of terrain.
Yeah.
Okay. So this
So
seems to indicate that
a
a
cloud
stealth
effect
wall, right,
template is not terrain.
is not terrain. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you can't cloud wall and make it cover.
But if there's an existing cloud on the table,
Oh yeah, you can make it
then
give
you could
cover.
then you could do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So this kind of my concern about this the sandbags is that we further relegated concealment to we further given concealment an excuse to not be a rule, right? So like if you're in a forest, like you have concealment, but since it seems like a lot of rules ignore concealment, it still might be
Throw
worthwhile to
some sandbags in
yeah,
there.
yeah, throw some sandbags in there, or similarly with clouds. Like, maybe you walk your guys in and they have prowl, but stealth is hardly a rule either. So it's like maybe you also need to give prowl prowl plus sandbags if you need them to stay that far forward, right? I don't know.
I really like runic wards.
I see runic wards, but it's like models completely within the chosen terrain get magic resistance. When a model with magic resistance is targeted by an arcane attack roll, roll an additional die, discard the highest die of each
Hmm.
roll. To me, it seems like both for runic wards and for sandbags and stakes, you all have to be within completely within terrain, right? Like,
Yes.
so if you have concealment, and assuming the attack roll doesn't ignore concealment, I could see where runic wards might be a good addition, right? But I still think it's
Rubble
like a
as
one
well.
point. Well, if you're in rubble, then if you already have
Cover.
cover,
Runic
then I
wards
think
on top
runic
of that.
wards on top
Yeah.
of it is really good. But
That's so good anti spell tech.
that's true, but it's only I feel like it's only good if you already have cover, because otherwise cover gives you a better chance to just not get hit by the spell otherwise,
It's true.
right?
I don't disagree with you. I still think that that makes it an interesting ability though, because you can stack them because they can be
And
stacked.
I just feel like sandbags is most of the time going to be the default, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then very situationally, runic wards will be a thing, and also somewhat less situational than runic wards is stakes going to be. The
I think you have to consider also what terrain he's going to be near.
mhm,
Um, just because he's speed 5, so he's got to be running if he wants to be getting on up there, right?
mhm.
Running to be able to do it. Um, and how long are you able to shoot for?
One turn typically,
One turn. Okay.
right? It well, it depends on the armies, right? Because I
Hmm.
see a lot of times what happens is in games is in turn one, obviously the player one's going to run as far forward as they can. Player two is going to position outside of player one's charge ranges typically, right? But they're going to be maybe able to take some shots into player one, and then it kind of the onus is on player one to kind of decide whether or not how much they're going to commit to scenario, right? Because if they very lightly commit, you could have multiple rounds of taking shots at each other, right? Because with some light
It's true.
commits, you know some more shooting without charging in can happen uh, over subsequent rounds. But I would say typically probably one, maybe 2 rounds where shooting
Hmm.
going to be on the table. So I guess to your point, stakes might be a lot better once you're in the later rounds, once
Hmm.
once the charge lanes. So that's fair. That's fair. But I was thinking to myself as we were having this conversation, like, and I know this is a lot of support, but it's like you got Captain Captain Barrel high fiving Boom Howler, right? Like you put up sandbags and then you and then you force barrier, right? So now you're +6 defense, right? So
Hmm.
your defense 12 guys, and a lot of troops have defense 12. I mean, I would say the majority of troops have defense 12.
Defense 12.
Yeah, I think probably there's more defense 12 than there are 13. But there's a large number that also has 13. But I think
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
larger number, ever so slightly, is defense 12. So they're going to go to 16 with sandbags, right? And then 18 defense 18 with fell call if you want to go that heavy, right? And then it kind of preserves you from having to use your card, right, to dig in.
Hmm.
Um, so it's interesting. Um, I think this guy is quite good, or at least he seems quite good on the surface. We'll have to see how he actually plays out. But he seems like he's going to be able to kind of stay back a bit because he only has to be within 5 inches of the terrain. So depending on how big the terrain
Hmm.
is, he can be pretty far back to give troops the bonus, right? Um, and then you know the grenade launcher's only range 10, so he might not be doing too much until the lines really get in there. With the 8 boxes and effectively 19 armor, it's almost too bad they didn't also give him shield guard. To be honest, I mean he's got girded too, and this is a very good rule. Like there's a lot of troops that just are not
Hmm.
blast resistance that
Yeah.
really would love to be blast resistant. So like he can walk up with the unit. You do have to be a little bit careful. I mean, he is a target for blast at defense 12, but like I said, a lot of things are defense 12, and as long as he's completely within the terrain himself, then he can get his own rules. So you know, I don't know.
Does
Is
he
there
make
anything?
you want to take a spike trap?
Not really, but maybe that's because
Okay.
I'm not thinking about why you would ask me that question.
It's rough terrain.
It's rough
It's
terrain.
Yeah,
Is it
it's rough
count as
terrain.
terrain? Like, can you use
This
this
terrain
ability?
feature is rough terrain.
Hmm.
Yes.
I don't know. I guess it gives you a piece of placeable terrain
Hmm.
that you can keep your troops on or within,
Hmm.
right? spike traps only affect enemy models, and their area
Yep.
is an additional 1 inch beyond it. I'm not sure how well. I would have to put some models on the table to see how well I can fit it, fit units or models inside the spike trap area.
That's totally true.
Right? That's a very interesting thought. I I don't know.
hmm hmm okay. Yeah, I think we can move on from Dunax. I like the direction of the model. Do you think you're going to be playing them a lot in lists?
I don't know. The lists that are in Gravediggers right now are pretty tight.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think there is a place for him. I'm just not sure where it is right now. Um,
That's fair. That's
I think
fair. Uh,
I think lists that want to. I think if you design lists that want to play the center theater, right? He
mhm.
definitely goes in there because he can collapse the flank to a certain amount, right? Because of the way you can destroy the terrain and move it a certain distance, right? So he can concentrate your the area that your forces need to be in by some amount, right?
Mhm.
So I think if you design a list with him in mind that wants to kind of be just a big battle group or a big central force and push forward, I think that could be pretty good. And then obviously he's going to give some defensive bonuses, etc. So I think there's potential for it. I I would say that I'm glad that the only Hordes faction is Kithcard that has him, because I think
Mhm.
he's significantly more powerful in Hordes because of how much that they want to. They're limited in how far they can spread with their battle group
Yeah.
compared to War Machine, right? Because the Empower guys can really, yeah, you're not going to get the power up, but you could still fully fuel a jack outside of control area, right? In War Machine,
Mhm.
where you can't do that in Hordes. So, um,
Okay. Let's go to Thornfall first before we go to Thane next.
yeah, Thornfall. What is this
Thornfall.
Brad Park stuff? Let me just do
Thornfall.
this.
Yeah. And now it's really easy to find them. We got all the changes. There's Thornfall right there. There you go. Okay. So we have coming on the 3D War Machine market. They're re-releasing Agatha. Go down solos. We're headed to solos. Agatha, Queen of Carnage. Um, so yeah, 3 point combat solo. She's not new. She's re-released. She's getting a re-release. So, speed 5, mat 7, defense 14, armor 15, unstoppable, tough, pathfinder, duelist, riposte, sidestep, sprint. And she's got 2 power 12s with combo strike, 8 boxes, 3 points. But she is not a new model. So let's go to a new model. Let's go to
Well,
the Sapper next, unless you want to talk about
I want to talk about her a little bit. I mean, Circle Legion
Ulbeck.
Scorn
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
Short
an
Swords.
unlimited. That's an unlimited. She
Oh,
is only
okay.
playable in Thornfall.
Gotcha. Okay, I see. So only in Thornfall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, duelist
Mm-hmm.
+2 defense against melee attack rolls. I mean, defense 16 is pretty legit. When missed by an attack, she gets to make extra models. Sidestep. When this model hits an enemy model, initial melee attack or melee special attack, you can advance it 2 inches after the attack is resolved, and sprint. Whenever it kills, it gets to go forward. The problem is like, I mean, with what's his name, she can be a 17 defense in melee, which is pretty legit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I would assume that they can take him because he is a mercenary, right? Or is it not? Is
No.
he only in the other side? Okay, well, never mind then.
Okay.
Anyways, even defense 16 is pretty hard to hit without
Yeah.
boosts, right? So she could kind of just stand in there, and as long as your opponent just doesn't roll hot dice, you could probably kill, some single wound dorks. Defense 14 is pretty hard to hit from ranged. Once again, if they don't have boostable attacks. Um, most things are Rat 5 or Rat 6. So at Rat 6, you need 6 and 8 is 14. You need 8s. If you have a volume of shots, you can. Armor 15 is not all that high. She does have
Nope.
8 boxes. So you can, with a volume of POW 12 shots, probably kill her in about 2 or 3 hits on average, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. She's interesting. I don't know that she's gonna light up the world or anything like that.
Okay. Let's go to the sappers next, and then we'll go to the big 5-point combat solo. You
Where
go
are the
down.
after the units?
No, they're solos.
Oh, also
Pharaoh sappers. There they are.
2
Okay.
points.
Yep, 2 points, 5 boxes, speed 5, rat 5, defense 13, armor 14, AD, tough, and they have battle plans.
Battle plans. They give
Mm-hmm.
Pathfinder and they give
Prowl
Prowl. Okay. Dig in is
has hit,
good.
have hit the dick,
As long as
and
they're not the
they
target of the initial range attack.
they've got bombs,
They
which
do have
are
bombs.
range 8, AoE 3, 14 over 8.
Those are some pretty strong bombs, to be honest with you. But
I know.
the problem with this is with range 8 and speed 5, your threat is only 13 inches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is not terrible, but the problem is there's a lot of things that just charge 13 inches, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you're going to be
I,
keeping in the back anyways to get to hand out March, right?
yeah,
And or
so
C.
I wanted to say that I believe this model replaced Saxon Orc because I believe back in the day they had Saxon Orc who could give March. Now they
Right.
have this guy who can give March.
That's fair. Well, they also had the Piper that could give March, but I guess maybe
I
not
don't think they had him.
in
Mm-mm.
Thornfall, right? That was
Yeah,
maybe in Mercenaries proper.
no, yeah, but I like the bombs for 2 points.
The bombs are good, but like for example, if it was on a unit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then the unit could walk forward even 5, right? 5
Mm-hmm.
place 2 plus base size is another inch is 3, right? So that's 8 right there. And then you're another 8. So now you're a 16-inch threat, right?
Yeah, but that's not here. It's a 2-point solo.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, because it's not part of the unit, that range 8 is kind of crippling. And then the other thing
Mm-hmm.
is like, what are you throwing into? I guess you have to, if they clear your troops, right? Then you throw. And range
Well,
8,
he's I think he is just contributing where he can contribute, and for 2 points, that doesn't feel bad. Yep,
there you go.
to your slaughterhouses. Yep,
Nice. Yeah,
fantastic.
that's true
Mm-hmm.
because I guess Big Pig also gives exhaust
Mm-hmm.
fumes within 3 inches of him, and that
Yep. So
prowl is
giving
pretty good. And
stealth.
3 inches around an 80 mil base is a pretty big area, so this is a very
Yep.
good point. I'm not sure where Jeff is today, but I would have expected him to say that. This, to be honest
Mhm.
with you. Meat Thresher and MMD both have exhaust fumes.
Oh, Meat Thresher has exhaust fumes. That's 120 millimeter base
I
of
know
exhaust
it's
fumes.
huge area. Is Meat Thresher even playable?
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah, it's on the store too. You can buy the Thresher.
Oh man, it's a cool model. I've seen it. Joe, one of the Joes in Raleigh used to, I think, had got into Thornfall, and he had the Meat Thresher, which is, it's neat to see, but it is not fun to get run over with. Your poor troops.
All right. Brunhilde. Brunhilde. Big old 5-point solo. Yep, there you go. All right. 5 points. She's speed 5, mat 7, defense 13, armor 17, 8 boxes.
That's what I'm talking
Pistol
about.
on the
Give that
gun.
cavalry to the meat thresher
Yeah.
and pistol. Delicious. Who
All right.
says
So
that
we
Steam Forge doesn't like 120s?
uh desperate pace on our small base pharaoh.
Oh, okay, that's nice. Although
Mhm.
our who are the small based units?
The units are down.
Yeah, here we go. Probably
So all
Brigands.
but the chain belchers.
Oh, so the slaughterhouses are small base as well. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Mm-hmm.
man.
Oh, yeah.
This is now we're speed 7 slaughterhousers with Pathfinder and Reach. That's
Mm-hmm.
looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That's some
Mm-hmm.
pretty good charging we
Pretty
got going
juicy.
on.
Pretty juicy.
Where's
Yeah. There she is. All right.
Precision Strike gives tactician.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And stir the blood.
Oh,
Mmm.
oh,
Yeah, she is. Mm, got all the good battle plans. She's got precision strike, stir the blood, desperate pace.
Whew. I don't know if she's worth 5 points, but she's very
What?
good.
I think the desperate pace, the stir of the blood, precision strike. I think you'll always be using those. And on top of that, if you go down, look at her offensive capability as a
Look,
5 point combat solo. Yeah, I know. 5 points, ouch, but go down. She also has play in combat. She's got gang
I
fighter.
know she's got
She's
gang
got
fighter.
rapid strike.
Yeah,
No,
let's
keep
see.
going. Go to
I
her
was looking for her
weapons.
weapons. Yeah,
Great axe,
yeah, it's
13,
PAL
two
13, so
inches.
she goes to 15. She's only got one, so like
She's
she's
got
making two
two. She's got
attacks,
rapid strike.
right? So she's making two attacks.
Mm-hmm.
At Mat 9, PAL 15, right?
Matt 7.
Well,
Gang
because the
fighter
gang
doesn't
fighter
do
is
that.
only two
Gang
to do the
fighter
damage roll.
is damage rolls. Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking gang fighter was gang, but I guess I was wrong.
No, they changed that this year.
I know, but
Like 5 points, I'll give you. Expensive. She does do a lot though.
I mean, I know this is a different faction, right? But like for 3 points, I got Argo Brock. He's a shield guard. He gives Stir the Blood. He doesn't give Place, but he's got a D3, volume fire, power 12 shots. And he's only 3 points. He actually does more damage by himself if you're just looking at his own stuff typically than Brunhilde does, and you probably don't want Brunhilde to be in combat. Uh, you know what I mean? So having the gun kind of, makes him, you know, makes you want to play him properly, as it were, right? Stay back, shoot gun, hand out, stir the blood, etc. Um, this is true. This is true.
Yes.
I don't know. I think I would be okay to pay 4 for this one. 5 seems a little steep. I know it's Thornfall. Um, I don't know. I can see 4. I think 5 is a little much.
Okay.
That's my only thought. I think it's a great model though. I think the rules that it has are very good. Precision strike is can be very good at times. Desperate pace is definitely good. Stir the
Mm-hmm.
blood is definitely good. Gang fighter, rapid strike, righteous vengeance these are all like they're gonna make her do the thing that you should not be doing with her, which is to get her engaged and get her killed, right? Like they're incentivizing the wrong actions, in my
But
opinion.
she also is like you start because people will pay 3 points. I think it's 3 points for just things like Stir the Blood and Desperate Pace. And for 2 more points at the end of the game, she helps you out.
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong there,
If
but
she can only target herself, she goes up to power. She goes up to a power 15 on her own. That way, if she happens to have another model nearby that already activated, that's 2 power 17s. I'm just saying she can put in work at the end of the game. Stir
I
the
mean,
Blood is
she can be a 17, right? Like she can stir the
yeah.
blood herself and then gang
Uh-huh.
fighter to
Uh-huh.
17.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it's still you're only getting 2 attacks out of her. A
But we're
three if
talking
you
about the
can use
end
a
of the game. We're talking about
yeah.
the end of the game. I think she's useful at all points of the game. That's why she's 5 points. I get she is potentially accurately costed, which is the issue here for you.
Oh, it's the issue for me.
uh,
I don't know. I kind of feel like there's definitely a gap in the 4 point solo models. Um, 5 is a lot. Like Eris is 5, and Eris definitely
mhm.
has. Eris can kill a unit. Eris can really do a lot of very unique things. I can't. Are there other 5s that I can think that are out there that are aside from Eris that are solos? I
That are
probably
mercenaries?
yeah. Is the Totem Hunter a 5?
No, Totem Hunter is a 4.
4? I
Yeah, Totem
mean,
Huntress Nasak is a 4. Um, yeah. Uh, talk about fives though. The Cephalix Mind Thief is a 5, but I don't think anybody likes the Mind Thief.
would
But
they
I
like
would
Mind
take
Thief at 4?
but I think she's much better at 5 than the Mind Thief is.
Fair.
But yeah. Um so we can talk about a different sort of mammal and talk about the bats because I'm clamoring to talk about some bats.
I know you are.
The Gathering Darkness got revealed, I think it was last week for Fame. And we have Harasheth's box, the Gorged Darkness. Yeah, I agree. I
I,
agree. I think you'll see her in 90% of their lists. I agree.
while this is not wrong, that doesn't mean that 5 points is the right amount to pay for. Or like, I feel like you know, I think she might be accurately costed at 5, but like, I think that a lot of people are looking for inaccurately costed models to be competitive with. Um, and paying 5 points, like, gosh, you know what else costs 5 points that I hate taking is those storm veins. Ugh, they like do nothing. They do. I feel like they do nothing, but they're 5 point tax. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that she won't get run. She's definitely very good, but I think I think that she's not. She's accurately costed, which kind of means that she's not competitively costed, right? Like, and a lot of times when you're looking to make a competitive list, if that's what you're trying to do, you're looking for competitively costed models. So, like, you almost have to take her because the utility that she brings is very great, especially because slaughterhousers, right? Like, making your slaughterhousers better is like really good, and getting rid of all of their weaknesses, which is if you don't need Pathfinder, you get the different 2 inches. Although I guess you could always just take Desperate Pace, right? Because it's the same. If you have to run through a thing, you
Well,
lose the
she's the
two
one
inches.
with desperate pace. She's the one with desperate pace. And the
Right.
thing is that if you're running Sturm and Drang, um, Drang gives you killing ground, which allows you to get Pathfinder on the charge anyway.
Right. But my point is though, like if you have the option of Desperate Pace and you have the option of March, like March is just -2 inches when you're going through terrain. So like it's basically the same ability, right?
Mm-hmm.
For 30 inch for 30-inch troops, right? So I don't know. It's a little redundant there. Um, on thinking about it. Yeah. Slaughterhouses shine even without Sturm and Drang, but every little bit that you push them forward is. Yeah, that's a good point. If you're taking the sapper plus the
Yep. And
yeah,
TK, yes.
yeah, that's the good stuff. This is all like, you know, how do we get Brad Park back into Thornfile Alliance? We release Sapper and Brunhilde. Right? Uh, all right. So, as much as we'd like to continue on here, where are we at? Who do
I
you?
like it how when I'm on more frequently now I'm covering Pharaoh. I
Do
think
you?
that's fun. Yeah, I covered Pharaoh last time we did Pharaoh talk.
I mean, I'm painting my MMD right now. Well, not right this second, but I was painting him right
Mm-hmm.
before we started the cast. So hopefully he'll be finished up soon.
So yeah, you wanna throw Harasheth up on screen?
Sure.
Oh geez, yeah, battle lust with desperate pace and all that. Yeah, yeah, and also I mean Carver has hog heaven. All right, the gorged darkness. All right, let's see this guy. He's speed 4, arcade ability 7, mat 5, defense 13, armor 15, 9 fury, 16 control area, 25 boxes. He has tough. He has unstoppable. Okay, fuel without end. He gains
Feast without
hunger
end.
or feast without end. Yeah, feast without end. So, important thing to mention, he has 3 additional hunger points beginning of the game. So that's 6 for him. And when a friendly non-Eldritch warrior model is destroyed within his control area, he gains 1 hunger.
This is
So
important.
this is all of your non-Eldritch because you were caring about Eldritch a lot in Vorsalis. So now the new Cav, the Hollowed, the Blood Sirens, the Devoted, the Merciless, all of those, he gets those. Also mercenaries. He gets a hunger for dead mercenaries. He also gets um, but that's only the warrior models of the dead mercenaries. So Magnus, not Invictus.
Connie, not gallant.
Connie, not Gallant. All right. But all that fuels him. He's got Profane Resurrection. So it's when he casts Revive, which I remember the a million times Revive on that particular stream. You don't the model that you revive does not forfeit its normal movement or combat action. Um, yeah,
It's very good. I mean,
it just means a unit affected by this cannot target enemy leader models with attacks for 1 round. I love that mention there at the end. That's that's a very powerful signature ability of his. He's got Unhallowed Shroud, which allows him to spend 2 hunger to give +2 armor to a friendly faction non-character model. It's 3 for a large base and 4 for a huge base. A large, extra large or huge base. And he's got From Beyond the Grave, which is when a friendly faction model in his control area would be removed from play by an enemy attack. He spends 1 hunger, and they're destroyed instead. Field Marshal Channeler, Withering Anguish. So enemy models suffering from Torment Continuous effect get -1 armor. Yeah. Those are just his abilities. I think Unhallowed Shroud is very good. From Beyond the Grave is what kind of allows him to function in a world with a fair amount or a decent amount of RFP. He just can get around it. And Profane Resurrection is kind of a thing for his signature spell for the faction specifically, which is Revive. He
Yeah,
makes
and so
Revives good.
it's very dangerous to kill a model in a unit against Hazareth.
Well, you have to kill the whole unit.
Hazarash. Well, and because the problem is now, like, he gets to basically, you kill a model, right, and then he kind of gets to make it 3 inches further in a direction, right, because he gets to place it, right, and then he gets to remove its ability to not charge, right, and then he gets to charge you with the model that he just created. So can be very dangerous. Now, maybe that's not as big of a deal because a lot of times you're picking off the models that are closest to your army in the first place. But I don't know. It's kind of scary.
Trampling is a good way to kill your own model earlier in the game.
Trampling is a good way to kill your own model early in the game?
Yes, so Revive you can cast to revive a dead model. You can kill a model turn 1 of the game with trampling one of your war beasts on top of the model.
Oh, I see what
So
you're
you
saying.
can have one ready for the next round for Profane Resurrection. What? You can have one in the chamber. You can tell him an old Crix player. Come on now.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
You can put one in the chamber.
Maybe they should rename this Profane Excarnation.
We ain't got no ball thralls like that though. So yeah, and yep, exactly. Ran over my own guy. Whoops. Those bats, they don't have eyes, you see, so he wasn't moving, just kind of ran over him. It happens. That being said, I think it would have to be Sybaris to do it because most of them can't trample. From Beyond the Grave, though, we are talked like it's useful for keeping the RFP from happening, which is very useful for any of your revive strategies. It's useful for the priests, the UA who has Grim Returns. That's useful for him. If you bring Nastilla, it's useful for her. That 1 point hunger ability. It's all good all around. Channeler. So yeah, he kind of has to have Channeler because it takes him a while to get up the board. And if he gets up too far up the board, he just pops. Right? There's just something about the board getting further up it that kills him automatically because he's defense 13, armor 15.
I mean, his stat line is so. I mean, armor 15 and like a lot of my casters are armor 15, don't get me wrong, but at least they're defense 15, so it gives me some false hope that they might live. But like armor 15, like even POW, most things are POW 12, so I'm not even going to say POW 10 pop guns, but even POW 12 pop guns, your dice off 3, that's 4 damage and attack, and that's like the smallest damage lever in the game for the most part.
He's going to be terrified of gun mages.
I mean, gun mages are POW 10,
but they're
kind of POW 12 because they have Heartseeker, right? But they're really POW 12 because you can always drop an ammo crate, right? So now they're like effectively POW 14. But like, he's what, he's a 40. You know, anything with
Mhm.
volume fire is going to get the +1 to hit him and an additional damage, right?
He's
Like
got 25 boxes. That's his
25
claim to
boxes go
survivability.
really fast when you're taking them down 4 at a time, is my point.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
4 at
They
a
do. Yeah, they
time
do.
is really what you would expect. So
So it's also important to
six or
mention
seven shots and he's just done before,
while
plus
he
recovery.
has 9 fury, he has lower amount of casting than Namara or Vorsalis. Namara can use hunger for casting spells. Vorsalis can spend the hunger and cast a spell for free. So he's going to be casting less spells. But let's go to the
I think
spell list.
that's gonna depend on, okay. I was gonna
Okay,
say I think
we
that's
have
depend
we
on.
have Withering Anguish. It's important to mention we have an armor debuff here at base, based off of Torment. So let's go to his spells, and then we'll get to his feat. Afflicted Wind, his actual signature spell, costs 3, AoE 3, causes torment on enemies hit.
I really kind of like this spell. Not on him, actually, but I really like this spell for the faction. Like, if there was a signature spell, like back in Mark II, right? Everybody had their own version of like their range 10 POW 12 nuke, right? It was like Razor
Mm-hmm.
Wind or Arcane Bolt or, whatever it was, right? Um, but they're all basically the same spell with just a slightly different flavor, right?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of almost wish that all of the um all of the Fane casters had this spell, because it's like you want to get your torment out there on your opponent, but against dorks, they instantly die to anything that hits them. So it's like
Well,
counterproductive, right?
spoilers. We're going to talk about that in a little bit with another solo.
Sure.
But Afflicted Wind also reads on him. All those models get -1 armor.
Right.
And he's got Chandler, so the range 8's fine. You're just going to get a beast up there. He has Carnivore, which I think is a huge deal, but we'll get to that a little bit later. But I think Carnivore on him is a huge deal. +2 melee attacks. Um, the healing, okay. Because the healing is for him. If it was for your models, then it'd be so crazy of a spell
Well,
for this faction.
it's
But
not the worst for him, because if he
it's
does
not the
get
worst
hit
for
with
him.
a couple of pot shots for funsies, right, to kind of chip him
Mhm.
down a little at a time, at least gives him an opportunity to recover. But I mean, yeah, he doesn't want to be anywhere close to the fight.
Okay. Expendable Pawn. I love Expendable Pawn as a spell. It lasts around. It's cost 1, range 6. It gives a friendly faction model shield guard and -2 defense. Um, while there's a lot of models that you can cast this on that are cheap, I really like the idea on this. If you ended up taking Fey Knights, it's great on Fey Knights. Armor 19.
Yeah, anything that gets
5
the that 2 armor buff for being within 10 of the caster is
or the
really
3
good.
armor buff. It's a 3 armor
It's
buff.
a 3 armor buff. Oh, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, those, but it's also really good on the hollowed, which we'll get to them later. Because you're throwing it on a few models for, okay, please kill them. Please kill this model. Hex Blast, the tried and true of any spellcaster, Hex Blast. Cost 3, range 10, AoE 2, 13 over 8. And if you directly hit, it makes enemy upkeeps and animi on the model unit expire.
I have to say that I really like Hex Blast. I mean, 13 over 8 is respectable. Like a lot of
Mhm.
an 8 POW blast is very likely to kill a lot of like dorks. Like the initial one
Mhm.
just straight kills them, but then the 8, you only need like 6s to kill a lot of times on dorks. 6s or 7s, which isn't terrible without boosting, right? So, and it's AoE 2, so you could potentially remove 3 models with this. On top of the fact that you also, whenever it connects, it immediately just removes any upkeeps, right? So like you're
Mhm.
really probably casting it for the remove upkeeps and animi, but
Mhm.
like it incidentally can also just kill dudes. not in not
Uh,
this is not
and traditionally it has been used. It kills casters dead too.
I mean, at 9 Fury, you're casting what, two of these?
Yeah, realistically, you're casting two of these on this guy. I don't think it's the best use for him, but it definitely will kill casters. Uh, like boosted 13s, which could be 14 because they could be afflicted.
It could be. Yeah.
All right, so we have revive, which yeah, we knew this was coming. Range 8, and yeah, placing that grunt within 2 of the unit, and they sacrifice normal movement and combat action, but not if you spend 3 hunger.
Right, and I feel like this guy really has a lot of tools to just play in the
Mhm,
sprinkler, almost as it were, with the amount of hunger he can gain between afflicted winds, being able to have
mhm,
the field marshal channeler, right? Um,
mhm.
so that he can do that. The fact that he also gains the hunger for
From non-eldritch, yeah,
from
from
non-eldritch
non-eldritch,
dying, right? Like, and
which is just one of those like your opponent has to kill your models.
right, yeah, and you can kind of do this dance where you're trading fury for or focus or fury for hunger, right? Where you're
Mhm.
reviving a model, right? And especially if it's the model that what is it? They already give you a hunger when they die, and then he
The
effectively makes
hollowed.
it two,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
now you're paying two focus, two fury to gain effectively gain two hunger, right? And if you're
Mhm.
bringing Nestilla, then you're really just paying Nestilla's focus to do that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To gain
Um,
that. And
I
if
mean, we'll
if
be
you're just crafty about putting one where it really can't be targeted and putting two out, right? Then you
mhm,
can just kind of repeat that process, not necessarily ad nauseum, right? Because they're going to die, but you know,
mhm.
you can get a good
You can
exchange out
delay
of it.
things really well.
Right.
Let's go up to his feet, and then we'll talk about some strategies. Yeah, you okay? So you remove up to 3 damage in total from friendly faction models within his control area for each enemy model suffering torment continuous effect within his control range. Then each enemy model suffering the torment continuous effect within his control range suffers a d6 damage.
Right.
So that's a lot of potential healing, though the healing part is shut offable with certain abilities like Grievous and things like that. Um, Grievous wounds and Tropic Force, you can shut it down. But you can get out a lot of torment with Afflicted Winds. Also, Fane Stalkers can do it pretty easily. And you can, let me see, the Razor Blade Wings, if you use them on Vortex, can do it. Yeah, there's quite a few ways of getting Torment out there. His own Afflicted Winds, though, just hits so many models.
Yeah, I mean, you get if you can stack a couple of afflicted winds and then feet,
Mhm.
especially if they're just single wood dorks, they just all instantly die, right?
Mhm.
Like there's no tough, there's nothing that can be done about it.
Yeah. He certainly, before we were really jumping into talking about some stuff about him here in terms of like specific things, he's definitely one of my favorite casters in the faction.
I mean, I feel like Rasheth has moved to Fane, right? Like he's
Yeah,
only
yeah.
on a 40
Harsheth.
millimeter base, but like maybe
I well, he
SFG
got
should have considered putting him on an 80 and just like having a bunch of dudes carrying him or her around. I'm not
uh,
sure if
uh
Azareth is him.
him
Okay.
Harsheth. Yeah,
Harsh.
and I love his extreme, which is nodding to the Harkonnens, Vladimir Harkonnen, where he's floating and he's all happy. Yeah. So I plan on playing him and trying him out with MMD and Carver.
Oh, you don't like
Uh,
the idea of having even more revives to really just get the
I want to try that too, but MMD Carver and shooting people up while they get the -1s. Also, this goes into another strategy that I was going to go into, which is one of the things that I really want to channel with him is provoke. Um, and using that to make some really either very aggressive moves with your war beasts or being able to pull them back. And what I mean by that is so you have one of your dudes run up closer to Big Pig than any of the enemy models. And then you activate provoke on him from one of your war beasts. Because I believe provoke is just friendly. Let me double check that. Let me double check.
you know which Warbeast has?
It is friendly faction. You can't do it to Big Pig. That's sad. So yeah, that's sad. You can't pull Big Pig back. That's what I was hoping for. But
Okay, maybe it is
you
Nastilla for you then.
it may be Nastilla for me then. But you can pull back your other things like Vordax. You can pull back Sybaris. Although for Sybaris, because he's conditioned, he mostly you're choosing something to go deeper on. But if you have a Vordak with like Tamed, and it has home back, it can make a full advance after it frenzies towards your battle group controller. So being able to like yo-yo your battle group and make some really interesting moves with them for one of his stack and the range of it being able to like channel it through, I think makes provoke a very interesting spell on him.
I mean, you can go into something. Once it's done, you can dig deeper because you can just provoke it, right? And then it's going to go deeper. It doesn't matter that you can't force it because it's already gonna. It's basically making a fully boosted attack into it, anyways. So it's already
If
basically
it gets that
forced.
range, yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like I think he's very good in utilizing your battle group in some unexpected ways because of his provoke range. Because it was something I was originally thinking about for Vorsalis and his illimitable power, but it's 3 hunger to do that, whereas this is just having Channeler to do it on your beasts. I like the idea. I like the idea. It's something that I'm going to play around with when I get him on the table. Yeah, it's under Feral. Yep. Provoke. It's friendly faction. And it has to be something that already activated, but it allows you to either pull them back or it allows them to go deeper, however you want it to really operate. Mm,
I was going to ask you if what's the
yeah.
ability that allows you to uh, use a body to
It's on bladed armor.
plated armor?
Yep. So yeah, bladed armor right there. So I'm using a lot of bladed armor Stragones in my lists because of the flexibility that bladed armor gives. And it makes them do a considerable amount of damage. I've talked about this previously on cast, but for him, I really like the idea that he gives +2 mat, and not only am I allowed to, not only can I use that on my units who already have good mats, but I can use it on my beasts and push their mat up to something decent. Push it up to 7s. So when I'm rocketing something in, it has a good mat to begin with. And if the thing's already tormented when it goes in, it's increasing the POW. It's such a good balance for how he runs beasts, which is what I'm. Yeah.
Well, this is what I was going to say. Like, even if you need to get somewhere with a beast, right?
Mhm.
You can still provoke it and send it out there. You can charge it out. I guess you don't really
Mhm.
need to do the provoke, but I mean, with the bladed armor, like you can just make you don't need it allows you to kind of force even without even without being in control area. right?
Yes, and that's one of the things I use for the Stragones is I force them outside of control area by using Rabid.
Right.
Um, okay, so the other thing that I wanted to mention before we move on from him is that he works with the final hunt really well, because any of them dying he loves. He Silena, he'll get hunger for that. Lanissa Rasil, he'll get hunger for that, and the Last Watch will get hunger for that because they're not Eldritch models. Um, so that is a thing to consider when building your lists. Also, in some of the lists that I have that I'm going to practice, I have Lanissa Rasil in as a test because of using Provoke on Binky and Sasha.
That's actually not bad because, the thing is, you get those extra attacks at full flank, right? Because normally
Mm-hmm.
what you have to do is you send one in. It's not getting flank, it's just getting its initials or whatever, right? And then the second
Now
one
they do flank
flank.
off of Final Hunt, so you can send in Silena or you can send in the other guys. But if it's
Right.
each other,
A lot of
they
times
also flank. Yeah.
a lot of times it's difficult to engineer. At least that's what I've noticed playing into Fane. If they're bringing Lanissa, that it is difficult to kind of set up um, to get that. So a lot of times they end up just flanking with each other. So
Mm-hmm.
it kind of gives you an additional flank attack from each of them, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
enrage them, as it were, right? Which is pretty good because it's an additional 3 dice 15 there. I think are they both 15s? I think they're both
Yeah, they're
15.
both 15s.
Yeah, so I
Mm-hmm.
mean it's two more additional 3 dice 15s for one fury each, and they're mat effectively 8, right, with the flank bonus. So
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna hit.
And you can make the 15s go up if the thing's tormented. Like we
Yeah,
have this, like he
yeah,
creates this engine
16s. Yeah,
that I can't wait to play with, because also like for the beasts and for things like Stragon Riders, things like that, he can make their armor higher, which is really good. And it's armor all the time higher. It's not
can you do
conditional. It's not.
Sasha and Binky to armor harm higher?
No,
Okay, only
no,
the
because they have ally of necessity, so they cannot
benefit.
uh they cannot use hunger abilities, and I believe he can give himself or a friendly faction. Oh, they cannot use hunger abilities. That's interesting. I'll have to check that. They can't
Okay.
use hunger abilities. I was assuming that they couldn't do it. Um, all right. So that being said, that is me saying, even before we get to the rest of his box, I'm incredibly excited to play this caster on the table. I love his kit. Um, and I think you can build his lists a lot of ways, and I think he has a very unique list to build in the faction.
Hey,
Yo
Steven, welcome.
yo!
Welcome, welcome. We're doing our best to play in the sprinkler without Kosma. Cosma's too cool
Mm-hmm.
for us today. He went
Mm-hmm.
and won a tournament, and now he's
Yep.
too busy to join. So that's not really true. He really had a big job thing. He's out of
Yeah.
town, so he couldn't join. But I like
So yeah.
to mess with him. Yeah, I
Let's
actually
go.
might be going to meet Cosma on Friday. He's not. He's far away, but not that far away. Uh,
Yeah, and X day on location, eh?
uh,
All right. Razorbat Alpha under solo, 6 point guy.
so I'm going from 5 to 6.
Oh yeah, 6 point solo. If you didn't like that 5 point
I
solo,
know,
let's talk
right?
about a
This is going to be
six
a pretty
point
hard
solo.
sell for me.
Speed 7, map 5, defense 14, armor 15, stealth, flight, eyeless sight, ambush, AD 12 boxes. He has finisher. He has ability called Rabid, which is not the same kind of Rabid because reasons? I don't know. Bats are
Doesn't it give
Rabid.
+1 +1?
Rabid is the ability that we just saw in Bladed Armor, which is the take a body, get boosted. This is Rabid plus two plus two. I okay. He's got sidestep. He's got reposition five. He's got a two 14s afflictor and a 14 teeth. Um. So yeah, this combat solo.
I don't know. Speed
You don't know.
7. Speed 7, 2-inch reach, so he charges 12, right, without any help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, he dies in 2 hits, is what I'm gonna guess. Potentially 1 hit. 15. A lot of things are 12. Yeah, 2 hits.
Mm-hmm.
On a dice spike, he could die in 1 shot, right? I don't know that he does enough work for 6 points. Like repo
Well,
5 sounds great,
he
but
the
he's
first
it's
attack
basically a
is
7-inch sprint.
the first attack is a power
14, and then the other
16. When this model attacks an enemy model, it has not already attacked this turn. It gets plus two plus two.
right. Okay, and then it's going to get finisher on the rest of its attacks. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be 3
Yes.
dice 14s, or a 3 dice 16, and then two 3 dice 14s, right?
Yeah.
So assuming all attacks hit, right? You're talking about a 16, so your dice off 3.
Mm-hmm.
3 from 11 is 8, so we're talking about 8, 6, 6, right? So 20
Mm-hmm.
20 damage to a heavy. I mean, if he goes into a heavy and he does 20 damage to it, I'd say it's probably worth 6 points, because that's more than a light is going to do into a heavy.
Well, it's what my lights do into a heavy. Is about 20 damage. So he's comparing directly to a Strigone at
Actually,
6
you know what?
points.
He actually does way more than that, because when you oh yeah. Okay, sorry,
So
that's different rabbit, like you said. Never mind.
different rabbit. Yeah. So plus two plus two. So, but what I do like him for is his flanking ability. I can see putting him in lists because he doesn't require anything to operate.
You have to be very careful with him. I think, like, he has stealth. Some lists, like, some factions just have guidance on a stick, and stealth is not a rule. And then those factions also have very powerful guns, right?
He
So,
has
like,
ambush, but you kind of have to ambush him on the second turn.
right, but and that's kind of my point, is you ambush him in, and if you're not very careful with your ambush, he gets
Mhm.
shot off the table after he kind of walks and repositions, right?
Yeah.
That's really kind of the thing, is he could be very good at ambush, but like,
Mhm.
he's not super durable against very particular factions that can see through stealth and shoot hard. Um,
Yeah. This is true. This is true.
so you just need to be careful. And then the other thing is, when you are ambushing, a lot of times you're ambushing to get some sort of pressure on a scenario, and he doesn't give the durability that like a unit gives. And what I mean by that is, like, even if you have 5, defense 9, armor 10 dorks, it still takes 5 attacks to clear them, right? Like, the worst
Mhm.
possible stat line. Where this guy, I don't know, will take 5 attacks to clear. Maybe he's defense 14, so you could just roll like poop and not hit him.
So I have a question then. This is a slight derailment. Click over to Nasak in Mercenaries. Keep going down. Yep, there she is. All right. She's 4 points. She's got the jump, she's got the prey, she's got Swift Hunter, she's got Tree Walker. Speed 7, Mat 7, Rat 7, Defense 14, Armor 15. But she's got Tree Walker, she's got Stealth, she's got Pathfinder, she's got a throwing weapon, she's got a ranged weapon. So we're looking at an immediate comparison. She's got Prey, which kind of dictates where you have to be. But my question is
I would rather
would
have
you,
I'd rather have Nasak
for
as
4 points?
strictly for ambush. I'd rather have Nasak. Nasak is you can position your troops right to where
Mm-hmm.
you're not forcing them closer to the edge, but they'll naturally want to position closer to the edge because of the way your troops are on the table, right, to
Mhm,
be outside of their range, as it were, right?
mhm.
Um, and that will allow you to be able to at least make an immediate impact with the weapons. It's not. It's only one. Um,
It's ROF2.
okay, so she gets two shots. So if they're
Yep.
just defending with like a solo or something like that, she could probably kill it. Especially because she gets to come in and put prey on it, right? And then she's really likely to
Yep.
hit.
Well, she gets to. I believe she still picks prey at the beginning of the game.
Oh, does she? Okay,
Yeah. But that being said, if it's something that you thought was going to be forward and you kill the prey target, you get to pick a new prey target. So that
right.
kind of like allows you to control that a little bit more. But yeah, she's
Or you
got
can
swift runner.
actually pick a prey target that you think will be on this on that they'll want to use to
Mm-hmm,
defend the flag, right? So that they
mm-hmm.
don't defend the flag with it, and knowing that you're going to
Yeah.
ambush it in. It's like the mind games, right?
So it sounds like you like Nasak better than you like the Razor Wingbat
I do, and
for
for 4 points,
AD.
yeah,
Yeah.
for 4 points, absolutely. I would take if I
Mm.
could take like two Nisaks, I would take two.
One of the things I'm debating taking with Nasak is the puppet strings guy to go with her, so he can give her puppet
Well,
strings when she
I was
shows
gonna
up.
s- I was gonna say if you're taking a 10-point module, right? Like maybe you could try bringing them both in on the same side. Now it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to remove both of them, and like
I could see that.
either of them can do a lot of work if they actually get to make a full activation,
Yeah, back to
right?
solos.
But the problem is when you ambush, right? You're losing part of your
Hmm.
activation, so you're kind of like you gotta hope that they live, right?
I
So
think we go to the Ribbon next, which is right above the Stragone Rider. Yes, ambush is a nice roll, and we get a lot of it in this box. Um,
you said
so let's
ribbon.
go for the Ribbon. Yeah, FA2 on this guy. No attacks, 3 points. Yeah, he's 5 boxes. He's speed 5, defense 13, armor 16. He's incorporeal. Within 3 inches. Models suffer -1 armor. Um, if an enemy dies while suffering torment continuous effect within 5 inches, if it's destroyed or removed from play, you gain a hunger. Oh, oh, this is fixing so many problems.
I
He's
mean, this is
ethereal. He's
yeah, this is
ethereal, and then
so
possessed soul. So he gets to pop up in a model when it's boxed of an enemy model.
yeah. This model has a lot of potential.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things, I mean, obviously, you're getting kind of like a half scything touch, right? In the -1 armor, a full scything touch if you count with the newscaster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that you can kill a model and then from range and then instantly be contesting your opponent's objective from gun range is pretty annoying, and it's difficult to remove because it's incorporeal. Some armies really don't have a large access to magical weapons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's bad news, right? So that's very good. Um, and I think we're gonna have a theme here going forward is that a lot of these models in this box really start stacking hunger for Fane of Nero. And like
Mm-hmm.
if you thought Fane of Nero was difficult to fight already before they really got to stack hunger, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be significantly harder to fight when they really have a huge access to
When they
their
have
to
their
the hunger.
entire engine online.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I kind of feel like this is the issue. Like Old Umbre has it, and I feel like Fane of Nero is about to not have it, but because I mean, it's not an issue for those factions; it's an issue for everybody playing against the faction, which is
Mm-hmm.
when you give the faction too much of their resource to where there's no meaningful choices that really have to be made because they just get to play in the sprinkler the entire time. I feel like that tends to make the faction just too good. Um, not having meaningful choices to make in the game, I think doesn't makes the game one less competitive and two less interesting. I I feel like I don't know this caster in particular just have so many opportunities to get hunger, right? And while like his abilities to spend hunger aren't like gain additional scenario points or you know double
or
damage,
casting
yeah, double
casting
damage
spells.
or casting free spells, but like he's gonna have a lot of hunger and his ability to use them isn't as broken, but he's still gonna have a lot of hunger. He's gonna be giving his army +2 armor. He's gonna be bringing models back. I
Hmm.
mean, I don't know. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a huge, as big of a problem for Hazareth as it might be for, you know, Ashmael or
Vorsalis.
Vorsalis or some of the other casters when they just have
I
such
think I
an
think
abundance of resource to spend.
I think
Um,
Hyacine, we're going to get to see what she's actually like when she actually has the resource because she has a huge issue getting it
yeah,
in the first place. So we're going to really see what it's like when she has it.
but we'll see how it goes. I think we have a few months, then
Hmm.
it'll be what is it? It's August, right? Almost September. So the
Hmm.
last 3 months of the year, right? We'll see Fane, and then what I expect is if it's too strong, that we're going to see them be brought down in some way in January. But at least initially, without having seen the new models on the table and how they fit
Yeah.
into the greater
Uh,
Fane doctrine.
Forsaken. If they really, yeah, but he will. Yeah, Harosheth. Ooh, that's interesting. Yep. Yeah, because
Weren't you
he's
asking about this for Nova?
well, he's not legal at Nova.
I know,
He's
but it's the same
but
thing
yeah,
basically you were
yeah.
asking.
I was asking about for Nova because I was like, if he was available for Nova, I'd play him for Nova. Because I have some fun lists that I want to try out with him. But yeah, no, he's going to be an interesting one. Although I think Versailles is still going to beat him out in terms of popularity, and I think personally, I think Ashmel should be in your pair. Anyway, so then it's like, who are you running? Um, but that's just me personally. Let's go to the Forsaken. He's the last solo on the list. All right. I really like this guy. You were whelmed by this guy. Not underwhelmed, not overwhelmed, just whelmed. He's 5 points. He's 10 boxes. He's speed 7, mat 6, defense 15, armor 14. He's got ambush. He's got AD. He's got Pathfinder. All right. So he gains an additional die on melee attack and damage rolls against things that are suffering torment. He has dig in, he has extended ambush. So he's got that 5 inches that we see on the scrappers, I believe. He's got scurry beneath. So when he ambushes in, he can perform dig in at the end of the activation. And he's got vermin feed, which at the end of this model's activation, if he boxed an enemy model during the activation, it can either be removed from the table and placed into ambush or make a full advance and perform dig in. And he's got two 14s, go down to the weapon, two 14s at 2-inch reach with crit shred and afflictor. I
I mean,
really like this guy.
yeah. So the afflictor, right? It allows you to charge in. You're going to get 3 dice, a 3 dice power 14, right? You're going to afflict
Mhm.
the model if it doesn't die, and then your next attack is going to also get 3 dice, right? And then whatever amount of crits you get, right? So like if you have Ashmail and you want to spend hunger to fish for crits, then you
Mhm.
probably get 3, maybe 4 or 5 attacks from this guy. Just how depending on how lucky you are on your crit rolls, right?
Mhm.
5 would be pretty extreme, I think, but
Yeah.
these things happen. I've seen like 2 dice crit shreds just tee off on on models and just kill them without really having any business to do something. If that happens with
Uh,
this guy, obviously kills it.
yeah, the Forsaken loves stalkers. He loves Lesser Eldritch, just for their ability to reach out and put hunger, put torment on things, just so he can start off by teeing off.
That's
Um,
true. I mean, he definitely likes the guy we're talking about, Arseth, right? Because
oh,
like afflicted
Harshath,
wind,
yeah,
right, gives
because of
this.
afflicted winds.
Yeah, I mean, he's got
But
the
like,
tools to also give him the basically make him POW 15, right? And
mhm.
you can make him 17 with the ghostly guy or the incorporeal guy, right? So he can do a lot of work potentially.
Yeah, I am planning on using him in Ashmail, of course, because he seems to really love the idea of being with Ashmail, and also like Visions of Torment. So if you're using a Lesser Eldritch, you can give something within 10 inches of another model that could be ambushing in Torment, so that the Forsaken can go in on that model.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan. Like, I don't know that 5 is a lot. He has no ranged attacks. If you ambush him in, he doesn't get to make any attacks. However, at least if you
Well,
ambush
he
him
gets
in,
to
he
be
gets to
five
be
inches
dug
in.
in.
Well, he
Yes.
also gets to be 5 inches in.
So you're threading 7 inches.
You're threading 7 inches. Yes, you're threading 7 inches from the table edge, in which some scenarios are 8 inches in from the table edge.
Right. Well, you're threading
So
7 inches with your melee weapon, but I mean, and I guess he doesn't. Does he have repo?
he
No, he
does not.
just yeah, but he does get to dig in. So like
He gets to dig in,
he gets to
and
be defense
also if he
19 versus
kills it,
range. Pretty hard.
if he kills something when he comes in, he just can disappear again or make a full advance.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just I don't love the non-immediate impact because he's not really doing anything until turn 3, right? That's the other thing is like if you ambush him, then he's not doing anything until turn 3, most likely. Very rarely does will he actually be able to do anything before then. I think if your plan is to just advance deploy him, I think that's a better plan. But I don't know, five is a lot. Five's a lot
Hmm.
uh, for something that's got 2 attacks. Um,
Yeah, but with Ash, he's getting more attacks.
Likely he's getting more attacks. Yeah,
Very likely. Because you have Stolen Fate that you can use on him. So for the extra die for checking for crits, and
right.
if he's going in on something tormented, he's got the additional die to hit. So you're looking at 4 dice. And then if you're in feet, 5 dice.
That's true.
Drop lowest. And you're checking for crits. Like it's a lot of crit potential on him. He has fairly good damage potential for 5 points. Yeah, I like him. I can't wait to put him on the table. I agree that he may be a more fun model than he is a good model for his point cost, but I think he's going to be a terror.
He's speed 7, which is good. Speed
Mm-hmm.
7,
2 inch reach.
2 inch reach. So he's got a 12 at base, a 12-inch charge, right?
Uh-huh.
You can make it 14 if you give him a mirage, right?
Yeah,
I'm not sure, and then you can get him 16 if you don't you have like the hunter's mark thing as well.
that's only beasts.
Oh, it's only beast. Okay, gotcha.
Only beasts.
Okay, so a 14-inch threat range is pretty good. He really needs to go into a hard target. I think with Ashmail, he probably is pretty likely to kill the hard target, especially if that thing is sitting in a scenario where it gets to
Mm-hmm.
have the additional die drop lowest on attack
Mm-hmm.
and damage rolls. Like it's like you said, it's very likely that he just shreds it, like literally
Yeah,
just shreds it, provided you have the hunger to keep feeding him.
to keep feeding him. Yeah, to feed the beast.
But I don't think
Let's
that's
get,
going to be an issue given some of the releases that we've seen in this
all right.
box.
Let's go to units. Unit time. So hollowed. Oh, oh, 4 points. Field allowance 4. There's 3 of them. They're 12 15s. Mat 4, speeds 5, with tough. When they are destroyed or removed from play by an enemy attack, a friendly Eldritch Leader gains a hunger. They cannot use hunger abilities or be chosen with the Shadow Shift ability. This unit cannot have a command attachment. They have power 10s.
I mean,
Mm.
they should have just made them 12/12s and not given them tough. I mean,
Tough is a debuff.
it is a debuff. It is a debuff. That's my
Yeah,
point.
it's an
So
amazing
is the armor
contesting unit,
15.
Steven.
Armor 15 is also a debuff. Is my point.
Yeah,
It's like, you know,
but yeah, they're an amazing contesting unit. Yeah.
yeah. Obviously, you want your opponent to kill them. Like I said, if you're bringing them in new Rasheth's list, um, right? Like he gets to revive them. He gets to stack hunger for fury. Like, oh well,
Mhm.
I guess I've got nine fury. I gotta get rid of it somehow. I guess just revive these guys back, right? So
Well,
you're gonna have,
once you've committed to killing one hollowed against him, you're committed to killing all three.
yeah, because
You have
exactly.
to give him 3 hunger.
Right. And then the problem is, what's hanging out behind the hollow. The other great thing is like it is, I mean, it's very much what Steven's saying. Like it's a 3-man contesting unit. Like you need units to score 40s. Well, here you go, a 4-point unit that you want to die, but even if you
That's
don't necessarily
FA4.
yeah, even if you don't necessarily want them to die, you know, shoot, I mean, if they kill 2 out of 3, it's even better. You just have a 1-man unit that
Mhm.
can stand in between 2 40s on fault line, right? Real easy and score, 2 points at a time, or more depending on how
Now they
many
can't clear,
no, you know, but
but
like
they're 4 points.
what do you do when you've got like 2 units of hollowed backed up with a unit of blood sirens? Is it the blood sirens?
Yeah, it's the Blood Sirens.
It's
Yes,
like
yes. Why did you read my mind?
well, because it's like, okay, well, like I did it. I cleared the hollowed, and now the blood sirens come in and shift all your models out of the zone, right? It's
Mhm.
like, or if they're duders, right, then they just kill them all, right?
Mhm.
And I know you're like, well, they're only mat 6, but there's mat fixing in the faction, you know,
Well,
in
the
a
Blood Sirens have 2
variety.
attacks. That's mostly what
Right?
I look
Yeah.
at them for killing guys.
God forbid you give them
Uh
additional die drop lowest.
yeah, the question is do you just immediately slam 16 points and put 12 hollowed on the field? Have 12 hunger just on the field?
I mean, some of us would say
Tempting.
we slammed 12 points and put 4 chain guns on the field. So I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
or machine gun crew, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, machine gun crews. So yeah, um I think they are the engine. I never thought we would get a unit like this.
And especially, like I said, the hollowed
I
in
I
them
when I
back.
saw the hollowed at first, I thought they were going to have the ability the devoted do with being able to give you a rebate on shadow shifting. But
They
that
give
was
you a
before I
rebate
saw
on
the
charge.
devoted. That's before I saw the devoted, and then the devoted had it, and I was like, oh, well, what are the hollowed going to do? And then the hollowed do this, and I'm like, oh,
Yes. Yes, this is what we're talking about. Where
mm-hmm.
okay, so
2
the
hunger.
so
So
what you
yeah, you
do
kill the
is
whole unit is 6 hunger for that man. So give that man 6 hunger, or let him revive the unit when you didn't give
yeah,
him
yeah.
6
So what you
hunger.
do is you put 2 out there to kill, and one of them's hiding behind a house, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
the enemy kills the 2, you get 4 hunger, and then you spend 4 fury to revive 2 of your or
Whoop, whoop.
focus, right? And then you have then you get to just continue to stack hunger. This is kind of what I was alluding to earlier in the
Yeah,
cast.
were you time walking with him?
Yeah, you're just stacking, you're just exchanging out your fury for hunger, and then you can use the hunger as needed, like for armor somewhere else or reviving a different model. Speaking
Mm-hmm.
of Speaking of, we haven't gotten to the knights yet, or the cav yet, have we? Okay.
No, steerage hounds. They're the last one. All right, steerage hounds are 11 points for a 3-man or 3-bat, as it were. Speed 9, mat 5, defense 13, armor 16, flight, eyeless sight, cavalry, 10 boxes. They have 2 power 14s with a critical afflictor and their 1-inch reach. They have sitting vulture, and they also have anatomy of a murderer, which allows you to customize your strig hounds each turn. So, do they have? Yeah, agree. Take 4 units. Take 4 units. Call me in the morning. Uh, so strig hounds are just, yeah, it's +1 defense, +1 armor, or +1 melee attack, +1 melee damage. Oh, what did I say?
Well, well, these
Oh yeah,
puppies, yeah, they're
they don't
hounds.
like
Yeah,
puppies.
they're not
Yeah,
they don't look like
they don't
puppies.
look like puppies.
Yeah.
I mean, they're these poor simple creatures. When they tried to make them into actual beasts in the faction, it kept getting them killed because their brains are so small. But it was Namara who was like, "Okay, take the babies in, teach them." Uh, reposition 5 unstoppable for predatory. So okay, this unit, though.
They have defense and armor on the way in. They have +1 to melee attack and damage rolls on the way when they're actually attacking, or predatory, depending on what they're attacking into, so they can kind of get away, fight another day. Um,
This is another one of those units that I was like, they have 10 boxes each, because the easiest comparison to them is the rock carriers in Orgoth, who are really good. They're 9 points. They have 5 boxes each. Speed 8, mat 6, defense 13, armor 16. They have stealth, right? They have stealth, and they always have unstoppable. They have repo 3, and they have 2 power 14 attacks, one of them with crit pitch. This unit is 2 more points, has double the number of boxes, and has a shiftable stat card. Better repo if they want repo, better damage if they want damage, but the same mat. They both have sitting vulture.
well,
Like
they don't get the same mat if they want the repo,
if they
right?
go into the offense, yeah, they
Yeah,
don't always have repo. Yeah, they don't get to always be that, but they have double the boxes, and they have the same base defensive stats. So if they go for defense, it's 14, 17, 10 boxes.
yeah. Are they the kind of model that also gets the 3 armor from being within 10 of the caster?
No, they
Okay.
don't have that rule.
Okay.
Um, and the rocks don't have eyeless sight like the bats do here. Um, so yeah,
Well, let me ask you this: whenever you, what is that thing that your character has? The I see we
echolocation.
use echolocation. So I'm
Mhm.
assuming these can take advantage of echolocation, right?
Absolutely. If they're within 6 of, if the one going in is within 6, then yeah, he can charge over a building and just get at it.
Right. And with speed 9, so 9 goes to 12, 12 goes to 13, right? 13
Team
behind him.
Mirage up to 15 or
Mirage up to 15.
Dash up to 14.
Right. So they can get places. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, they
they don't
can.
really they don't benefit from the torment, I don't think, right?
Mm-mm.
I don't know. They're 11 points. They do have double the boxes. I
I think these are crazy good.
think the thing that was great about the rocks is really that they're 9 points. They always have the things that they have, and while they're not individually better than the things
They're
on here,
they're half the boxes.
yeah, they are half the boxes.
Five as five as opposed to 10, and they have stealth, but I know your opinion of stealth.
I know. The problem is that anything that sees through stealth kills the rocks instantly, right? They just evaporate, right? You walk
Yeah,
forward, you have guidance, you have eyeless sight, whatever. You just blow them right off the table because,
like, and I get that these are competing with the Clivenesh, technically, like the character unit,
right?
who also has a suitably large threat range.
Yeah,
Um,
even farther, I think, because they have the 3 inch
yeah,
reach.
they have the three. Well, not further. They have the guns that would make it further, but 3 inch reach on speed 7 as opposed to 1 inch reach on speed 9. 10 is 10. Um,
Yeah.
but like these bats are such a fast unit, and they're gonna get on your opponent so quick. Um,
I think these take advantage of terrain. If you're planning on bringing the character heavy, right? These can be very good.
mhm.
I don't know.
Well,
Clivenesh for the same points, you might want to just take the Clivenesh, unless you already have the Clivenesh. Then maybe I would consider these guys. Or if I was already going to take the character heavy for a different reason, I would maybe consider these guys over the Clivenesh. The Clivenesh are so good. I mean, it's hard
they
to
are,
it's
but they
hard
don't
to
have. I think also because I am a huge lover of flight,
yeah.
um, is what's going on here, and they have a lot of good abilities. Um, the Clivenesh, I think the Clivenesh, of course, are amazing, but this Cav I also think is amazing. I think this faction overall, like these units, we basically have some of the best unit breakdowns of any faction.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of you're reiterating what I said, which is that you love flight because you can really take advantage of terrain, and especially with the echolocations, you can absolutely take advantage of the terrain. And I don't think the Clivenesh have the flight, right? So they're
No,
not going to be
they
able
just
to
have
take
Pathfinder, but
advantage.
Pathfinder's still great. But yeah,
It is
Eh,
good, but it's not as good as my guys are starting behind a forest or a house or an obstruction, right?
uh-huh. Yeah.
And your models can't see my models, but my models can see your models and are not obstructed, and they can get there, especially with
Mhm.
speed 9, right?
And the
Like,
fact that you can run a flying circus, like full of units that fly, solos that are scary that fly in the Strigan Riders, um, like, and of course all your beasts fly. So you can have so much flight in terms of air superiority, allowing you to be in all of those places and abuse those line of sight blockers really well.
right, until you run into a cloud wall army.
It's still only -2 inches.
It is, but it's funny. It's funny.
Like, it's still only -2 inches. And uh yeah, I
And you would
just
also be surprised how many clouds or storm whatevers are in, at least that I've seen in events, where it's like you don't think much of clouds until you're up against an army that is using primarily flying models. And then you're like, oh, I really love clouds right now.
yeah, but the takeaway that I have there is yeah. Yes.
Thank you, Steven.
Um because they need Pathfinder still to ignore that.
Well, didn't you say there was a model that had both Pathfinder and flight in your
Yeah, that's Horcus. Horcus, when he gets outraged, gains Pathfinder. He's just rushing through that cloud at that point.
yeah.
Um, I like the idea of taking these with Namara, or not Namara. Although I think that's a fun and very fluffy place to take them. Hyacine, actually. Even though she can't decap them or murderous impulse them, dashing them and decelerating with them feels like a good idea.
Right, because then they go to 14, 17. With if you take their
14,
own armor buff,
19
and
with
then goes to
decel.
14, 19 with decel.
Yeah, and they go to
Or
speed 10
bar.
with
Yeah.
dash.
Yep.
Like, you could,
You can give them a
I
Storm
mean,
Ranger.
you can give one Storm Ranger.
You can give
It's
one
one
Storm Ranger.
model. I think because they can also live on a flank and not care about what your caster is doing is actually very helpful too. Because the Clivenesh needs to shadow shift for its survival. It's either placements or shadow shift, right? So they can't be on a flank because shadow
I
shift
I
is in
think they
control
can
of
be
it.
on a flank, but it's kind of like they have to be the most flanked models, right? Where they can kind of like chew into something and still be far enough away from enough action that they're not going to get retaliated against significantly.
Yeah, but in terms of I no, I don't really see that because you still want to shadow shift with them, and a lot of the times there's something else on the flank. Like, and if anything gets into them and they can't shadow shift, they're dead. I mean, I get their defense 15, but the number of models that have had their defense 15 that just melt at pressure is a lot.
Especially when you're talking about boosted attack rolls from models that can either force or
Mm-hmm.
boost, right? So
Yeah. So they're gonna like, and if they can't shadow shift, then they're dead.
gosh, their stealth, Pathfinder, Gunfighter.
Yeah, they're amazing
Yeah, they're very good. Weapon Master, Powhatan Weapon Masters with their
with
gun.
decap. Oh yeah, yeah. With their gun, their POW 10 weapon masters, and their the chain is decap. POW 10 decap.
And chain weapon, so
Mm-hmm.
it ignores shields, which is really nice.
Yeah. No.
These guys are really good. Anyways, it's hard.
Yeah, they are, but they like, in terms of taking a flanking model, like, because okay, you don't you're not necessarily dumping 22 points on them, okay, to take 2 units, but 1 unit for 11 points. I don't know, that feels pretty good. It feels pretty good. But we'll see. We'll see how they do on the table.
Yeah, it's fair.
Mm.
Do you have any final thoughts? We're getting pretty close to time, so
Yeah, my final thoughts is this box I'm ultra excited for. I did not know that there was going to be another caster added to my grouping that I was going to enjoy so much. Um, so my favorite casters now being Ashmael, Namara, Harsheth. Yeah, that's that being a grouping that I love the most. We got Nova coming up here, so we're gonna both be at Nova.
yep, that's true.
And I'm gonna be at Nova on, I think, the meet and greet on Wednesday. I'll be there on Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're gonna be there all the days.
I'm not going to be there on Sunday. I have to work. Uh,
If you qualify, though, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm going to hand you my army and tell you to have fun.
It won't be me necessarily. It'll be the next person in line.
I know.
Uh, but yeah. So we're gonna be there. You can come out, and there's gonna be tons of people there to
Oh yeah.
meet, to talk to. But come by, say hey to us, and yeah, that's what I have to say.
I always look forward to Nova because Erica, or the Bevs really run good events. They
Oh
have
yeah.
historically always done. They're fantastic people. You should definitely come out. There are narrative events again for Nova. I look forward to talking about them again this year, like we did last year. I have no idea exactly what they are, but I'm sure they're going to be a lot of fun. As far as I could tell from the signups, all the narrative events are full this year. So whatever they did
Hmm.
last year, they they must have knocked it out of the park because everybody wants more of it. So
Hmm.
uh, should,
I need to see if there's open slots and when the IKRPG slots are, because I heard about that and I was like, oh, maybe I'll play some IKRPG.
it's a fun game. It's a fun
It
game.
is. It is. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't really have
All
anything that I haven't already said. I will kind of close it out with something you said about this box when it dropped, which is they saved the best for last in the faction. They
right.
kind of printed. I don't necessarily say all the best models, but the kind of missing puzzle pieces of the faction kind of all came at the end, right? The best, most effective ways to gain hunger to really turn
Mm.
all the different casters on are in this last box. Um, Once again, I already felt like Ashmael and probably who's the guy that
For
Versailles
Salus. Hmm.
were already very powerful with the limited amount of hunger that they were getting, and now that they're
Yep.
going to have almost an unbridled, unparalleled amount of hunger, they are going to be even more powerful than they already were. So
Oh yes, yes. Plug in the spell rack. Absolutely. Ryan and Erica go over Nova. Also, there is a great breakdown of Grimkin. If you haven't watched that yet, why haven't you watched that yet? Um,
I've been painting models so they can play at Nova.
but you can listen while you're painting. Yeah. I just finished my army yesterday, so I'm ready to bring out some vampires. Also, though, that Vorsalis box drops, and I'm hoping mine will be here in time so I can paint up a few more models, and hopefully have some special stuff there. Who paints in silence?
I mean,
I think you paint
I'm an angel
not in.
apparently because I have a
Uh,
halo when I paint.
okay, got it, got it.
Am I wrong?
Mhm. I mean, you do have God's light.
Yes, whatever.
You do have
Um,
God's light. Uh, yeah. So everybody, have a great time. It's been great tonight for everybody here. And